Good morning and welcome to Mrs. Bell's Sweet Treats and More. Today is Monday and this is Monday Moments, and I'm just giving you a quick shot of what we're making today. I'm going to be making a pot roast, one of the most delicious meals I know of. I know chicken is always, at the top, but this is one of my favorites. So I'm getting ready and I'm showing you what I've already put together. I also have some potatoes, but I'm not going to add those till a little later. So hang on, we're going to get started cooking today. Good morning and welcome to Mrs. Bell's Sweet Treats and More. This is my YouTube channel, Monday Moments. Today, this is a sweet treat and more day. I am going to be making pot roast. I love pot roast. I love a good pot roast. So I'm going to, I already showed you a little bit of what we're doing. I've added my potatoes so you can see I have potatoes to be added. So I'm going to work on getting my meat together and then getting our pot together, because I'm going to brown the meat and then we're going to do all this lusciousness. I'll be right back. Well, I have my meat here. It's about 3 pounds. And I'm just going to make sure it's not wet, because I'm going to be putting it in some hot oil. It's going to have moisture anyway, but I don't want it all over me. And I'm going to be using the Good Seasons because it's a shortcut for me. But for those of you who have not used it, I use the dry Italian, the dry Italian or the zesty. The reason is because this has 10 wonderful spices, extra spices. It has the onion powder, it has the garlic powder, it has even the carrot, it has celery. Oh my goodness, it has so many of the flavors that I want, but sometimes I don't have all those on hand. So this is a great shortcut. So I'm going to take a package of this and I am going to sprinkle it over. And my hands are clean. I'm cooking this for my family. Yeah. So I'm going to put this over here, over this meat. And I'm going to let it set for a little bit. Not out on the counter, but inside my fridge. I'm going to just let those flavors go in. And then I'll be back and we're going to put this on the stove. Hi, I'm back and we're going to get started on just putting this meat together. I have my oven set on 350, but I'm going to cook this just to get the meat brown and get a nice crust on it. And then I'm going to lower that and let it sit in the oven for just a little bit, and then I'm going to crank it up because I'm cooking this entirely in the oven. So I'm going to be adding my canola oil. This is what I had on hand. You can use vegetable oil. You can use olive oil. Sometimes when I use olive oil, I add a little butter to it because I like the olive oil flavor. Doesn't always agree with what I want something to taste like. It doesn't stay with the flavor, but it's just, I like that butter, that butterness, and the way that it browns and the way that it makes that taste. So I'm turning my stove on and I'm going to turn it up, and in just a moment I'm going to add my meat, my vegetables first, because I want to saute those first. I'm not sauteing them till all the way done, but I want these in the bottom to get the oil flavored, and then I'm going to take them out and put my meat on top of that, and then we're going to get our crust. So I'll be right back. So I'm going to add my onions. Onions have a way of making the house smell like you're really doing something, you know? And I have one really large onion, but if you don't, you can use 2. You can, leave it out altogether. It's up to you. Or you can cook with it, which I often do with, if I have someone that doesn't like a particular texture in their mouth. And what I found interesting is if you cook with it and remove it, they often don't know that it was in there, unless they have an allergy or really don't like that flavor. One of our daughters didn't like onion, but come to find out, it wasn't the onion that she didn't like, it was the texture. One other family member didn't like mushrooms. Well, they didn't like the texture of mushrooms, but they liked the flavor. Now, you don't sneak it in. I do sneak vegetables in to my food, but you don't sneak in something without someone knowing. I'm adding red peppers because I like the color. You can add green or none at all. I like this to be really colorful. And it smells so good. And you see how it looks? So I'm going to cook this until they're wilted down, probably less than 5 minutes. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. I haven't added my garlic because I do not want to burn my garlic. Garlic is very sensitive to heat, so I'm going to keep stirring this, and we'll be right back. Okay, here are my vegetables. I'm going to put them in a bowl so that when I dump them, I don't have to scoop them again. And this didn't take long. It's less than 5 minutes. So I'm going to remove them and be right back. I just added my garlic. Just gonna let it go around a little bit. I'm just gonna let it go probably a minute or so because I don't want it burnt. I want it fragrant. And I don't want it tainting our roast. But I do want it cooked a little to get that rawness out and let it be more mellow. I'll be right back. I took my garlic out. I put my garlic last because it also adds flavor to the oil or what you're cooking. So the pot tastes garlicky, more garlicky. And I'm going to put my meat in. And I'm going to let it get nice and crusty on both sides, and I'll let you see what it looks like. As you can see, I just flipped it over. So you can see what it looks like. I'm going to get it nice and crusty over on this side. I'm going to keep flipping it all the way around, and I'll let you see what it looks like. Once you see a little bit of what it's looking like on this other side, and I'm doing the edges. Okay, I got my beef stock nice and hot, and it's unsalted. Much of what I use that I can use is unsalted because I want to add my own salt. And the good seasons that I use, the Italian dry, has salt in it. Doesn't have enough for everyone, so you might want to check your juice and see where you are. To this, I am going to go ahead and add some of my vegetables and garlic back. I'm not going to add it all because I want to use it at the end because I'm going to put my potatoes in. I'll let you take a little peek at it. This is what it looks like. Ah, you can't see it. Let me take this off. So I put a little, here's our pot roast so far. And I'm deglazing the pan. Those are some delicious pieces down there. I'm gonna continue until I get all these pieces up, get this kind of hot, and then I'm gonna finish adding my seasoning. So this is what it's looking like. I'm getting it up to a boil, and then I'm gonna add my other ingredients. But I wanted you to see there's onions, there's peppers, just a little bit of the garlic, I'm saving that. And this is my stock. And you might see some of the little specks in there. It's quite a few in there. And I'm going to be right back. Okay, right here, add a little bit more. Now, I'm just adding a little bit of extra ingredient, which you may or may not choose to. Just doing a little bit. I like a little rosemary, but I don't like it a whole lot. You know, that concentration. Boy, that smells good. And I'm adding some Worcestershire sauce. Some people call it Worcestershire. I'm adding a little bit of that. It's coming to a boil. And I'm trying to help you see. Help you see my boil, because I'm about to add my meat. You can't see it. You can't see it. I'm going to take it off again. Okay, I've got my meat here, and it's really tender. So I'm going to try to let you see it without it falling apart. There's our meat. And I'm going to add I have some carrots here. I'm going to add my carrots and potatoes. And I'm going to suggest that you taste your sauce in there, because your potatoes and your carrots got a little sweet, but your potatoes have only a potato flavor. So you're going to want to add and make sure that your sauce is salty enough. Just a sec. So mine is not thick at all. It's still thin. And it needs a little salt. And because I have potatoes in here, it's going to need more. So I'm going to add salt. You add salt to taste. And add some of this. I don't have any fresh black pepper. I'm going to use a fork and let that go around. And I'm going to put this in the oven and let it cook the last 45 minutes. I'm going to try to see if I can let you see it. To cook all that goodness in there. So I'll be back and we'll get ready to plate. While I'm adding these together, I'm putting also the last, we didn't use all our onions, garlic, and celery and peppers. We're going to put those in now. I wanted you to see this. I'm going to try to tilt it down. And you see the peppers, onion, garlic, the meat, and the carrots and the potatoes. While I'm adding these together, I'm putting also the last, we didn't use all our onions, garlic, and celery and peppers. We're going to put those in now. I wanted you to see this. I'm going to try to tilt it down. And you see the peppers, onion, garlic, the meat, and the carrots and the potatoes. Here is my meat and veggies so far. And I'm going to put this back in the oven. I've put in some carrots and potatoes. And I added some extra seasoning. I added some extra of my dry Italian. And I'm going to put this back in the oven. And then we're going to cook the potatoes for the last 45 minutes. I'm going to take I meant to take my meat out first. And then I'm going to put everybody back in the pot. I want to show you the meat and how fork tender. Okay. So I'm going to put this here on the top of the stove, and then we'll be back. I want you to see that my sauce is coming along, but it's still very thin. And here is my meat. So I'm going to make a little bit of a slurry with my cornstarch. I just use a little bit of cornstarch. I used about a tablespoon here, and then I added some water, and it's kind of thin. And I'm gonna add just a little bit at a time to this and stir it. You can almost see it's immediate. Almost immediate. So I'm gonna let it cook a little bit longer. These carrots and potatoes are about done. And then we're gonna have our pot roast. Now I want to show you how thick the sauce. It's much thicker. I don't know if you can see that. And I am going to place my meat back into the potatoes and the carrots. Now mash together. We'll be good. Well, here we are with our pot roast, and I have potatoes and carrots, and the pot roast is so tender. Oh my goodness, it looks so good. See the potato chunks and the carrots. Together we can do this. This is so delicious, and it is so hot. It doesn't take long. It's more of the cooking time for the meat. Oh my goodness, I'm trying to get a piece of meat. Oh my goodness. And this is so hot. I don't want to hold that up. There's my meat. Delicious and savory. Together we can do this. You can top it with biscuits. You can top it with muffins. You can top it with bread. You can leave it alone. It is absolutely delicious. You have a good one. I hope you get to make it. And if you had any variation, let me know. Together we can do this. Have a good one. Goodbye.